Hello everybody, my name's Nectanebus and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just gonna give a short little video to those who care about it, about my car. I don't think I have a huge car enthusiast audience, and even though I'm now into cars, I'm not really looking to become a car channel or anything, but when I got the car, I said I'd update you guys, and I want to put out an update every now and then, just stuff that I've been doing to the car, stuff that I've done to the car. I first announced that I bought my car in my depression video at the beginning of 2025, and I bought my car late last summer, so I've had it for just under a year and a half, and it's been great. I absolutely love the car. I don't regret buying it. As I've gotten more into cars and as you saw, I took it to the track. I realized that it's not really a track car. And I think one of the things that I really want to do with cars going forward is going to the track. I really feel like going to the track, going to a road course, and like having a car that's meant to do that and driving fast around a track. Problem is that I don't have a car that's meant to do that, and it's my daily driver. So, and I'm not gonna buy another car anytime soon, so it's not something that I can do right now. But basically I realized that it's not the most driver's car, I guess. You know, obviously it's a BMW, so it's still great. It's still a really good driver's car. It's a manual, but it is like almost 4,000 pounds and all-wheel drive, and a lightweight kind of rear-wheel drive smaller car is probably something that I might enjoy more, or I might have enjoyed more for track purposes, you know? I mean, I guess for BMW that's like a Z car, but I still think the 4 Series is my favorite BMW, and I still think BMW is my favorite car brand. So also having an all-wheel drive version is, you know, great for a daily driver. Doesn't matter that it's heavy, it's fine. It still drives great, and you can still have a lot of fun with it with 300 horsepower. So it's not like I dislike the car. It's like, other than like an M4. So M4 is obviously it's the same size, but it's lighter, rear wheel drive, more power. Other than an M4, I'd say I don't think I can see myself buying this type of car again. Like a sporty but heavy all-wheel drive car. That's what I mean. Like, I still love the car. I still enjoy it. I still want to keep the car. I think it's a great daily driver. I want to keep it forever, but that's what it is, a daily driver. Like, I have no desire to turn this into more of an enthusiast car. Like, let's say I was gonna buy, like, I think in my track video, my instructor, I think I mentioned my instructor had an S2000. Like, that's more of an enthusiast car. Like, that's more of like a track-oriented car, a car you can make track-oriented. It's cheaper. It's a Honda. It's lightweight. It's rear-wheel drive. It's still manual. It's very fun. You can mod it out to go to the track, and I might say it might be easier to work on, cheaper parts, and smaller, lighter, and like more of a car that I would want to track than a car like this. If I was choosing a car to track, I would not pick an all-wheel drive 4,000 pound vehicle. That's what I mean. It's a great daily driver. It's a great car. I wouldn't buy it to go to the track, and I don't think I would buy one of these cars again. Like the same type of car, but a different one. I wouldn't buy that again unless it was an M4. I could see myself buying an M4 at some point. That would be my only alternative. At this point, I would either buy like the M4, which is the more powerful version, which is like ultimate BMW in my eyes, F82 to clarify, a muscle car, Challenger, or like a smaller track-oriented car. I could even see myself buying a Corvette, like as more of a track-oriented car. But you know, those are obviously more expensive than, you know, other like tiny little cars you can get. But the car's been great. I've gotten better and better at driving it. I've been recently, you know, working out a new technique of smoothing out my upshifts, even when the clutch is cold and it's not very smooth. Just more practice. I mean, like, that refinement obviously comes over years of driving manual, and I'm only at like a year and a half. So, and it's been great. It's been reliable. No check engine lights. My BMW, by the way, it doesn't leak oil, it doesn't leak coolant, and it has no engine lights. It has no check engine lights. It has no Christmas lights on the dashboard. So easy, basically. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did spend like $1,200 fixing an electrical error. The oil level sensor was broken. I also couldn't measure the amount of oil in the car because BMW decided it was a great idea to not put a physical dipstick in anymore, and put an electronic one that fails. Right? I mean, you can't make a physical dipstick not work. It's like kind of impossible unless you like break it off or throw it away, like on purpose, whatever. I do everything possible I can myself because I've fixed like 10 other things on the car for less than like a third of the price of those 2 times I took it to the mechanic for things that weren't even really, you know, hugely important. They didn't affect the driving, the actual like important components of the car and the driving of the car. That's why I do all my stuff myself. So yeah, I'll just go over a little bit of what I've done to the car. I haven't done any modifications at all. All the stuff that I've done and most of the stuff I plan on doing is all either like cosmetic, not huge, little minor cosmetic fixes and fixing things that were broken is the only stuff I've done to the car, and a few things I plan to do to the car up until this point. And later I'm going to talk about maybe a few modifications, like actual modifications I plan on doing. As I mentioned before, one of the first things I did was change the oil because the counter wasn't reset, so I didn't know how new the oil was. So I was like, well, it's a BMW. Am I going to risk it? No. So I went and bought some oil, did an oil change. I did another oil change 5,000 miles later. I've replaced my windshield wipers twice. I noticed my clutch pedal was squeaky, so I was like, every time I'd press it, it would go like, I'm like, this is stupid. This is fucking annoying. So like, I just popped off the bottom cover of the driver's side footwell plastic cover thing, and I grabbed a little bit of not WD-40 because it smells or whatever, but this other like little like spray lubricant stuff, I guess, and I just sprayed it on like the spring or the joint or whatever on the clutch pedal where it like connects, where it hinges, and that went away immediately. Little easy fix there. My parking brake lever boot, the boot around my parking brake lever was ripped all down the middle, so I bought one off of eBay and I put it on. Probably the easiest thing fastest repair I've ever done on my car. The part came from, I think it was a 2019 M4. So the part came off of an M4, and there were a couple different ones, and I decided to go with that one because obviously it doesn't mean anything. It's literally the exact same part, but I just think it's cool that it came off of an M4. So I could say I have a piece of an M4 on my car, and I think that's cool because that is the only car that I like more than the car I currently driving is an M4. So then another thing that I consistently noticed that was annoying for many months was my parking brake line clip was broken. Now that's what I call it. I don't know what it is. It's a parking brake line clip. Basically, near the rear of the car, there's two parking brake lines. They run back and they're above the drive shaft, between the underside of the car and the drive shaft. They run down and then they split off and they go to the two rear wheels. Right before they split off, there's this plastic clip that's bolted to the underside of the car that's meant to keep them in place. It gets hot there, it's near the exhaust, it's whatever. The plastic becomes brittle and it breaks. And one side had broken off and it had been rattling against the drive shaft whenever I got on it or turned a certain direction, because the car would squat or the car would lean and the drive shaft, got closer to the car, and the parking brake line that was hanging down would be rattling against the drive shaft. And it was super noticeable, super loud, especially under acceleration.
All right, this is what I was talking about. Parking brake line is being held in. Hold up, there we go. Parking brake line is being held in by this clip here. This one, it's all good. It's all Gucci. It's being held in. This one right here is all loose. I could take this and you can see right there that it's come loose off this clip, and it's rattling against the drive shaft here. It's exactly what I thought it was, this parking brake line.
If there are people in the back seats and I was accelerating uphill, it was really more noticeable. Very annoying problem. If you ever have owned a BMW like this, you probably know what I'm talking about. So to fix this, I bought a custom machined aluminum part. It was about $100, which is expensive for a little clip thing, but the original part, yeah, it's plastic and you can just replace it for $8, but like that's just gonna break again. So I bought an actual aluminum one. I would say this is probably the hardest fix I've ever done to my car. So it sounded simple in theory. There's this exhaust bracket, and you have to take this off to drop the exhaust, to take the heat shield off, to then reach up around the drive shaft and fiddle with the clip. There were a few of these Torx bolts that would not come off. They were stuck. It was ridiculous. The big ones we were able to break loose because they were bigger and the bit was bigger, but the smaller ones, we broke the bit just by pulling on it. We had this breaker bar. Just by pulling on it, I was able to snap the bit and it wouldn't come off. So I was like, okay, well, I bought a new bit, broke that one too. And it was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Here, I recorded this clip while literally going to pick up one of the replacement bits. Well, boys, I'm in the whip, not my whip, but a different whip. And yeah, I'm here, sitting here. I've about to go into another store to buy another T45 socket bit. I've broken 4 T45 socket bits trying to take these bolts off. I broke 4 of them with a breaker bar. And I'm thinking maybe that's not how you're supposed to do it, but we didn't, our regular impact driver doesn't work. We're gonna try an air compressor. We're gonna try an air driven like drill to take the shit off that we have at home, which is like the stuff they have at shops, the stuff, whatever. We're gonna try one of those, but I need to buy an impact bit because I've broken 2 normal bits and 2 I bought a set, and 2 out of those that fit within the bolt broke with a breaker bar. Maybe breaker bar is not how you're supposed to do it, but I just bought a replacement regular T45 for my dad's set, and now I'm gonna go buy another one. Hopefully this shit works, but yeah, this is just ridiculous. I'm trying to get this thing replaced today. I've broken 3 today. I broke 1 like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, fuck. But anyway, back to future me. I bought like a set of what was supposedly high impact ones. So spoiler alert, that one broke as well. I think I used, we have an air wrench. So I used an air wrench on this one, you know, the ratchet thing. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. That sound that you hear in mechanic shops, the air wrench sound. Everyone knows the noise, even if you don't know what the hell that is. And it had this, obviously a ratcheting motion. Shattered the goddamn bit. So I returned that set. I believe between me and my dad, because my dad tried a few, we broke 5 or 6 bits. I think it was 6. I think we snapped 6 bits trying to get these bolts off. We tried, you know, using heat, using spraying some kind of whatever into them. That didn't do shit. I tried blasting it with a blowtorch, like before removing it. Doesn't matter. Snap the fucking bit. I did that multiple times, and it was like, this is ridiculous. These bits are too weak. They're just they're too small. Like the larger ones, they were stuck to, and they required a lot of force, but it was a larger bit, so it didn't break. It was able to break the bolt loose. So what we did is, we know a mechanic, I guess friend of the family, whatever, and I borrowed a Snap-on bit from him, a bit from Snap-on, like a legitimate Torx bit made out of, I don't know what it's made out of unobtainium, made out of vibranium. And I used that one, and I was able to pull, me and my dad worked on what we're both working on at this point. He like snapped 2 of them. I snapped the other 4 or something. We were able to pull them loose using that Snap-on bit. I mean, I don't know what they're making these other bits out of, literal Weenie Hut Jr. shit. Like, it's clearly not meant to get bolts unstuck, and the Snap-on bit worked. So we actually, I finally got the bracket off, which was like, oh my goodness, just that alone, it took a long time. Like, okay, I have time this weekend. Let me see if this will work. Snap a few bits, put the car all the way on the ground, go to work, whatever. Next weekend, jack the whole car up again, break some bits, put it back down, keep going to work. It was ridiculous until I was like, let's just get a Snap-on bit. He probably has a legitimate bit at his mechanic place of work. So he did, it worked. And then after that, it still took a few hours, but it was pretty straightforward. I dropped the exhaust down, just 2 bolts holding in the exhaust, dropped that down. And then there was a bunch of just little tiny screws holding the heat shield on. So I took all those off, and then I was able to get to it. And I put the aluminum one on. To remove the plastic one, it was kind of tough. I had to actually like get in there with some cutters and like cut the plastic. I had to like cut the whole thing in half before it would come off, because it wouldn't like bend out. I mean, one end was broken off already. I literally just pulled on it with my fingers slightly, and the other parking brake line just snapped right out. The plastic snapped right out of the clip. It was insane. Like, that one would have broken at some point too, and it would have gotten even louder. And then the new one, it took some finagling to get in. It wasn't that easy. You know, it was in 2 pieces. I stick one through, and then I clip the other one through, but it's like there were rubber things that were supposed to go on the parking brake lines that was supposed to slide in, and that was hard to put in, and it was a little bit of difficult to work it in, especially, you know, up above the drive. You're reaching out above the drive shaft, so you can't just access it from the bottom, because that's where the drive shaft is. So you have to like reach over the drive shaft to do everything. That was annoying, but I got that done. So now it didn't rattle anymore, and that was great. I don't miss it. Then, you know, another thing I did is, I don't know how, but there were 3 plastic pieces under the car. There was actually 4 pieces under the car, little shields and stuff that were like completely destroyed. I don't know why. I don't know what for, but I bought replacements, the main front splash shield. And then I think they're called mud guards. Those are like right in front of the rear wheels on the left and the right underside the car. So I replaced those things too. And I did all this before I took it to the track. Before I took it to the track, I also rotated the tires. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but for some reason, whoever owned the car before me, they had Michelin Pilot Sport 4 summer tires on the front and Pilot Sport all season 4s, I think that's what they're called, on the rear, which is weird. I don't know why there's 2 different types of tires. That makes absolutely no sense. I think I mentioned it during the track video. It probably made the traction and the track feel less consistent. Maybe it's possibly why I never oversteered and was understeering more often, because I had better, you know, summer tires in the back at that point after I'd rotated them and the all seasons up front. So my front end would, of course it's all wheel drive, but it might have still done actually some more oversteering if I had the same tires all the way around. Obviously it doesn't matter for regular driving, but like when it's at the track, that's a really weird setup to have. So I rotated all the tires. That was pretty easy. And while I had the wheels off, I replaced the right rear wheel well liner because that was also broken. A piece of it was missing. It's something like the wheel well screws into the mud guards, or the mud guard screws into the wheel well or something, so I had to replace one to replace the other. So that's like 4 plastic pieces under the car replaced. I also replaced the hood insulation. I thought it looked ugly because it's not like fully black painted. No hood insulation. I bought some insulation. I thought I was buying the actual like full padding insulation. It actually just came as like a thin like sheet that was rolled up, and it didn't fit really well, but in hindsight I don't really care because I didn't want it to necessarily be functional, or like it wasn't super important to me to have like hood insulation. I just wanted it to not look terrible on the underside of the hood. Even though it's wavy in a few places, it's like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. No one's gonna be looking under there anyway, so yeah, it doesn't look perfect, but like it's there, it's black, and it makes the underside of the hood look way better. Then I ran into another small little issue, which actually turned out very well for me. It was only a minor issue. I replaced the cabin air filter. It's very dirty. Check the regular air filter. It's pretty clean. There's a little debris in there. I just looked at it today for another reason. I'll get to that later. But the air filter, super clean. So I bought a cabin air filter, but I took out the old one and then I drove to the store to pick up a new one because I went to check it. Now, if you don't know, you have to remove, obviously, it's under the passenger side footwell cover, and you have to unhook the passenger air. You have to unscrew and unhook the passenger airbag to get to the air filter. Now, I didn't realize this, but when you do this, and then you turn the car on, it throws a code because the passenger airbag isn't plugged in. It throws an airbag code. So I'm like, oh, damn. Well, that makes sense because I unplugged the passenger side airbag. So I drove to the auto parts store, picked up the new one, put it in, and then drove back home, screwed it all back in, put it all back together. The code's still there. Apparently, this type of code does not go away. Even if everything's fine, if it's activated once, you can't make it go away. So I'm like, damn, that sucks. How do I make this airbag thing go away? The airbag's fine. I plugged it back in. How do I make it go away? I shouldn't have driven with it off. There's a very, very basic code reader that like can't even clear codes that my dad has. It could just like read some codes or whatever. That didn't work. So I found BeamerLink. I'd heard of BeamerCode before, so I bought an OBD port adapter. I bought BeamerLink and I connected it up and I made the code go away. So then I was like, while I'm at it, since I have this OBD port thing, why don't I also buy BeamerCode? You have to buy it separately and configure a bunch of cool stuff on my car. So you know what? I did. I bought BeamerCode. I configured a bunch of cool stuff on my car. Like I turned off the turn indicators are always on when the daytime running lights are on, and that's weird, so I turned that off. I turned on constant daytime running lights on the tail lights, so the tail lights are always on. I did a bunch of stuff, customized a little thing, made the brake lights, told the brake lights to flash under hard braking instead of an area expansion. I think the biggest change I made in BeamerCode is to every time I lock and unlock the car, the mirrors fold in and out. I also made it so that if I held down the lock or unlock button, it would open all the windows automatically as well. That was a really nice feature in the summer when I, went to walk over to my car. I just pushed the unlock button, bam. All my windows are now open, especially, when I get out of the car. If I, lock it, obviously locks, it folds the mirrors in. And then if I keep holding the lock button, then all the mirrors start closing. I really feel like I'm driving a luxury car. I mean, I know I'm driving a luxury car, a luxury sports car. I already can tell, but it just adds to it. Yo mama's Honda, don't do that. I think that's really cool. The most recent bit of maintenance that I did is changing out the brake fluid. Car said, you need to change the brake fluid. So I'm like, okay. I bought a Motive power bleeder. I brought a catch cup thing, and I bled the brakes. I bled all four brakes. I had to bleed the front ones twice because there are 4 piston brakes. There are pistons on both sides. Told me to do it, so I did it. And that's how I'm gonna treat this car going forward, because it's a BMW and it's not a Honda. If my car tells me to do something, I'm gonna do it. As far as more repairs, I said there was fake carbon fiber on the inside at some point. I said I might replace that with real carbon fiber. Someone put a fake carbon fiber like stick-on plastic thing over the center aluminum piece, whatever. And also on like the back side of the inside door handles on either side. So I'm like, this is stupid. I hate having fake carbon fiber. Been driving around with fake carbon fiber for like a year and a half. I hate it. Stupid. Sucks, especially when I have like a real carbon fiber Dynon intake. How am I gonna have fake carbon fiber? Anyway, whatever. Stupid goddamn ricers. Can't believe there's a ricer that owned this car before. Anyway, but I found out why, as far as the door handle ones, I found out why you put them on the door handles. If you ever heard of sticky BMW door handles, ooh, these ones are sticky as shit. Basically, they're made out of this like soft, supposed to be a soft, luxurious feeling fucking thing. The inside of the door handle, it gets sticky. The more you touch it and the more it gets exposed to heat. I don't know why they make them that way, but it's stupid. That's just a thing that happens. So instead of replacing the door handles, they just were lazy and they put some stick-on fake carbon fiber dog shit looking things on it so they could grab the door handle without getting sticky fingers. JoJo's reference! So I bought some door handles that came in. You have to take the whole door panel out to replace the door handle, of course, because it's a BMW, so why wouldn't you have to? But I'm gonna do that at some point. I'm gonna replace those door handles so I can get rid of those fake carbon fiber things and have actual real ABS plastic, grippable, not sticky door handles. And then the final thing is that my car's badge was a 440 on the back. Why is my car badged as a 440 on the back? It is a 435. It was made, the model year is 2015. It came with a manual transmission. It's a 435. It did not come with a 320 horsepower engine. It came with a 300 horsepower engine. It's a 435. Someone badged it a 440. I don't like that. So I also bought a 435 badge. So I'm going to replace the 4 and the 0 with the 3 and the 5. But those are two other repairs. I call those repairs, not maintenance, that I'm going to do. I've been driving around with a basically up-badged car. It's a super slight up badge. Obviously, I'm biding my time waiting for my tires to run out, waiting for them to get to 330 seconds tread depth so that I can replace the wheels and the tires at the same time, because if you've been looking at the channel, then you know my wheels are destroyed. So I want to replace those. I want to get some black ones, so I'll update you when I do that eventually. And that's it for the update. As I said, I'll update you once I do more stuff. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next coming videos as I get back into doing more and more content after being busy for a while and not making time for it, unfortunately. So have a nice day and goodbye! If I sneeze, you have to subscribe. If I sneeze, you have to subscribe. If I sneeze, you have to subscribe.